One of the most amusing things to witness in the game of basketball is when a player loses touch with reality, unaware of their actual skills, value, and impact on the court. It becomes pure entertainment for us as fans and a comedic spectacle as we watch the debacle unfold. However, it's a different story for the fans of the team that player represents. In this current NBA landscape, no one embodies this scenario more than Jordan Poole. Poole joined the Warriors during one of their worst seasons, clinched a title when the team got healthy, and secured a substantial contract. Suddenly, he transformed into a young, flashy player on offense, believing he's the next Steph Curry. Many anticipated Poole would shine this year, expecting him to drop 30 points a night on a rebuilding Wizards team, given the green light to go wild and unrestricted. However, the reality has been quite different. Poole is being exposed for what he truly is, a selfish, poor decision maker, an inefficient scorer, and a player who, instead of elevating his team, brings them down. The disparity between expectation and reality in Poole's performance has become a notable storyline this season. I understand this might come off as pretty harsh, which it is. Perhaps we should cut Jordan Poole some slack considering he even took a punch from his own teammate. However, given the way Poole has been playing this season and the noticeable struggles of the Wizards when he's on the court, coupled with his apparent indifference towards his teammates and winning, it's hard not to be critical. What makes it even more challenging is the fact that Poole seems unwilling to adjust his playing style to contribute positively to the team. Let's address the glaring issues we've witnessed in Poole's game. From comical errors like attempting a Steph Curry style 3 and turnaround only to miss the shot, unlike Steph who often makes it. Setting aside these moments, the individual stats coming from Jordan Poole are historically poor, especially considering the significant minutes he's logging. In this video, we'll delve into what happens when a player lacks any semblance of self-awareness on the court and how it impacts both their performance and the team as a whole. Certainly, if you're new to the channel and enjoy this kind of content, consider subscribing to help the channel grow. In return, I'll continue delivering more NBA content like this. Now, let's rewind to when Jordan Poole first entered the league. At that time, not much attention was given to this young player. Sure, he possessed great athleticism, was crafty with the ball, had a solid outside shot, and played with notable confidence. However, many viewed him as a bit undersized and not quite NBA ready, a project player requiring significant development, especially in decision-making on the court. It's worth remembering that in his rookie season, Poole struggled to find his footing to the point where he was assigned multiple times to play with the Warriors' G League affiliate. While this isn't uncommon for rookies, it's a bit more unusual when it involves first-round picks, as Poole was, picked 28th overall. Adding to the challenge, this was a season where the Warriors faced adversity, with Steph Curry mostly out for the year, Klay Thompson sidelined for the entire season, and the team finishing with the worst record in the NBA. Poole wasn't stepping into a situation with a stacked roster, and rookies were indeed fitting prominently in the rotation. In fact, the Warriors were starting players like Eric Pascal in the backcourt. Entering the post-bubble season, and with Klay Thompson sidelined once again due to injury, this was Jordan Poole's opportunity to showcase his skills, and he did just that, emerging as a significant contributor, a scoring option outside of Steph Curry. This momentum carried into the following season, where the Warriors welcomed back Klay midway through, ultimately securing the championship. Poole played a vital role in this success, so much so that Warriors GM Bob Myers opted to offer him a substantial contract extension, an early extension, I mind you, worth 4 years and $140 million. Even coming off a title run, many questioned the hefty price tag attached to Jordan Poole, especially with substantial financial commitments to other players on the roster. At the time, I made a video expressing concerns about the potentially regrettable nature of Poole's contract, but little did we know how much of a regret it would truly become. While Poole continued to be a solid scorer and a scoring spark off the bench, the Warriors made a critical error by letting go of key role players like Gary Payton and Otto Porter. Although they eventually reacquired GP2, the real misstep was prioritizing a long-term financial commitment to Poole with an early extension. They could have waited another year, allowing him to prove his worth for a near-max extension. Instead, they paid him early, and it became evident that he wasn't contributing to the team's success in the way they had hoped. Moving on to the following season, reports surfaced about Jordan Poole's negative vibes and attitudes in the locker room. It became evident that he wasn't fully invested in being a part of the team, displaying a lack of engagement with the group. I addressed this issue in a video back then, emphasizing it as a significant misstep by Bob Myers, predicting that it could lead to Myers departing from the organization, and indeed, that's what happened in the offseason. Well, I shouldn't say he stepped down, his contract wasn't renewed, and he left the Warriors. Recognizing that Poole's attitude, demeanor, and on-court performance were adversely impacting the team, the Warriors had to take action. They knew the situation between Poole and Draymond was untenable, especially after the punch incident. Consequently, the Warriors traded Poole, and to be blunt, it was more of a salary dump than a typical player trade. They even had to part with a first-round pick to remove him from their books, bringing in a somewhat washed-up Chris Paul in the process. At the time, I thought the Warriors were making a questionable decision, believing they could have secured a better deal without sacrificing a first-round pick. However, as events unfolded, it became apparent that the Warriors made the right call in parting ways with Poole at any cost. For the Wizards, it might align with their tanking strategy, as Poole not only performed poorly, but also seemed to have deluded himself into thinking he's the team's best player and someone to build around. Despite entering a season where many anticipated Poole to be a top 10 scorer in the NBA, playing on a struggling team where he would be the primary option, the reality is starkly different. He's only managing an average of 15 points per game on some of the worst efficiency in the league, shooting less than 40% from the field and a meager 27% from three on 6.5 attempts per game. His shooting performance is among the worst we've seen from deep on such high volume since the 2015-16 season when three-point shooting really took off. Beyond scoring struggles, Poole is turning the ball over 3.2 times per game while averaging only 3.7 assists, almost reaching a turnover per assist. His defense, never a strong suit, has been comically bad at the start of the season, with a negative 2.7 defensive box plus-minus. To make matters worse, his overall box plus-minus stands at minus 7.6, placing him in the bottom 10% of all NBA players. The real shocker is that he's a minus 34 for the Wizards when he's on the court, meaning the Wizards' margin of victory is 34 points less when Poole plays, ranking dead last in the NBA among qualifying players. If this trend continues, it would be the worst in NBA history for any NBA starter. While it's crucial to acknowledge that we're dealing with a relatively small sample size and on-off numbers like a minus 34 are unlikely to persist throughout the entire season, we can anticipate some regression to the mean. Jordan Poole's current individual net rating, standing at minus 30, is expected to improve at least to some extent as more games are played. However, even with these numbers potentially seeing some positive adjustments, it doesn't negate the underlying issue: Jordan Poole's mindset, mentality, and maturity remaining unchanged. It's clear that he perceives this as his team and operates under the belief that he can do as he pleases. Having achieved his goals in Golden State, winning a ring, and securing a substantial contract, Poole seems to prioritize playing freely within the system, caring primarily about his individual performance. Until there's a shift in his mindset, nothing substantial will change in how he approaches the game of basketball. This not only affects Poole individually, but also has broader implications for the Wizards, who may continue to struggle and remain among the bottom feeders in the league. Share your thoughts on Poole's performance this season in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. Catch you in the next one.